So during these times of increased social and economic distress, so many people, so many of us are suffering from anxiety and fear about the future. Our next guest believes in her soul that we can turn this around. She says when we understand who we are empowered to make better choices. That's the premise of her new book, Whole Brain Living. That might blow your mind. She's here to do it herself, the author of Whole Brain Living and one of Time Magazine's most influential people, Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. Dr. Bolte Taylor, I didn't realize I was speaking with someone so influential.
Michaela, it's so good to be with you today.
It's a delight for me. And first of all, what people don't know is you suffered from a stroke, and we'll talk about that a little bit later because, of course, this is Stroke Awareness Month, and that's such an important issue close to your heart. But this notion, whole brain living, it seems like we should be using our whole brain, but we're not? Question mark?
You know, it's a myth that we only use 10% of our brain. If neurons are living creatures inside of our head, so if you have a neuron and it's alive in your head, you're using it. The question is, do we know exactly what it's doing?
I love the idea of trying to tap into that. I think, you know, many of us are just taking for granted this thing that sits inside this big old bowling ball on top of our necks, right? So talk to us about what we have been taught in society. For example, I think about the right brain, left brain, you know, if you're creative or if you're more analytical. What have we learned and what have you discovered about where the truth actually lies?
So you're absolutely correct. We have been taught that the right brain is our emotional brain, our left brain is our thinking rational brain. And the fact of the matter is that our emotional system is evenly divided into both hemispheres. So we have emotional tissue in the left, but we do have that rational thinking brain. But in the right hemisphere, we also have emotional system, but then we also have thinking tissue in that right hemisphere. So we have these four major modules of cells, two emotional and two thinking, and they each process the same information, but in completely different ways.
And you say we can tap into those four characters, and you'll learn more about it if you pick up her book, but we can tap into those four characters and get them working for us, I suppose, in a way, right? Better.
Exactly. So if you think about who we are being right now, we're being our left thinking brain.
Sure.
We're organizing details, we're communicating, but then that fear or anxiety or rage that we're all exhibiting, that's a different character inside of the emotion of that hemisphere. And then in the right hemisphere, the emotion of our playful, curious, creative spirit, and then our thinking tissue in our right hemisphere, our connection to a higher power. We have four very distinct characters inside of ourselves, and we have the power to choose moment by moment which one of those characters we want to embody.
When we talk about re-entering the world and the post-pandemic life and the anxiety and rage and things that people are feeling, I have a feeling we're going to have more of these conversations. I want to have you come back on to help us understand what we can be doing to help ourselves and help others through that. Quickly, it is Stroke Awareness Month right now, the month of May, and I know this is something close to your heart. Are we making headway? Is the Awareness Month even more important than ever because we're on the verge of maybe some breakthroughs?
Well, it is true, but Michaela, the most important thing is if you think you're having a stroke, if you're having what I call neurological weirdness, where you're having a problem with speech or a body part is drooping or anything unusual, go for help sooner rather than later, because time is of essence in how well the medical world can help you.
I think that is a perfect note for us to end on. We're going to talk more about it during the month of May because it is very important, and we're so pleased to see you back doing what you love. It is called Whole Brain Living. It is available where books are sold. This is one you want to pick up if you're trying to figure out how to get through some of this stuff that we're all experiencing. Dr. Bolte Taylor, you're a delight. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Michaela.
Stay well. All right, Maria, my whole brain